Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So a couple of weeks ago I looked at the Gigabyte Aero G, which is a more kind of creator, less gamer aesthetic focused motherboard. Now we have the ProArt Z690 Creator Wi-Fi here from ASUS. I've always loved the ProArt series of motherboards that they do, very sleek and professional looking. And I've always wanted to look at one, and I've managed to get the Z690 to look at. They do actually have the AM5 ProArt version out very soon as well, and that looks very nice as well. I'll put a picture on the screen, but this is obviously the one that's out now, and I managed to get hold of it, so we're going to do a little video on it. I'm also going to do a build with this, and ASUS have also sent over the PA278QV ProArt color accurate monitor as well, so we're going to do like a more editing themed PC and also a separate video on the monitor as well, so you can check that out. But for now, let's get back into the video. So we've got a little kind of cardboardy boxy here, which has, I'm guessing, Wi-Fi antennas. Yeah, typically what we see in these kind of little things. They are magnetic as well, nice to see. We have the board itself, which we'll just put to the side, and then we've got some Control Center Express little QR code, driver CD really. We've got some SATA cables, there's 4 there, 2 of which are right angled. We've got the kind of Q connects, so you can put all the front pins on in one go and then just do it in one block. It's quite handy. Little pad if you're going to use a single-sided M.2. There's 2 of those. And then we've got some additional Q latches for the M.2 slots. Last but not least, we have a DisplayPort to DisplayPort. You might think it's a bit strange, but what you will do is you'll put the DisplayPort out from your graphics card into the motherboard, then that will give you a Thunderbolt connection that you can use to monitors. More on that in a minute. Oh, it's nice and weighty. So we've got a semi kind of translucent shroud over the rear I/O. Nice beefy heat sinks as well, and some brushed aluminium. You can see just under there, there's those heat sinks go really far back. Some nice cooling over the MOSFETs and chokes and your power delivery. Of course, we've got our LGA 1700 socket. 4 slots for DDR5 memory. They don't have a DDR4 version available, unfortunately, but for the cost of this board, you're more likely going to be expecting to use DDR5 anyway. To the right, we've got a 24-pin motherboard connector. There's also a 6-pin, which will give you additional power delivery to your USB-C port. You can do 65 watts charging with that, so laptop or something to this, you can charge it off of that, which is really nice. We've got our M.2 slot, so we've got a Gen 4, then there's an additional one below, and then another one which stretches the full length, which is actually 2 slots underneath. I'll show you that in a minute. Let's go back to the top, and we've got our additional EPS power. So there's a 4-pin and an 8-pin, which is a shielded one. For fan connections, we have a AIO pump. There's an additional 2 to the right of that. There's 3 down the bottom, 4, 5, 6, 7 by the socket. So plenty for all your different fans. So you can have AIO and then 6 additional fans, which is really nice. For those of you that might want to use some RGB with this board, there's a 12 volt on the top right. Just below there's a 5 volt addressable, and then you've also got another 2 addressable RGB headers down at the very bottom. If we turn the board to the right, we've got a USB 3. This is USB 3 Gen 2.1. Really confusing names on these USBs. There's 6 SATA ports if you want to use any external drives. This is one of the boards you're more likely to use external drives with, especially if you're going to be using scratch discs and things like that. You can also RAID them all together as well. There's some additional USB 2 ports down the bottom, so good if you're using an AIO that's controlled by USB 2 port. Of course, we've got a PCI bracket. This will support Gen 5 when it's available. So let's take off these covers. So that's a standard 80mm drive, but you can put 110 in should you wish. There's a thermal pad on the back as well. Second slot is much like the first one, but this is a maximum of 80mm drive, thermal pad on the back. Big old thermal pads on the bottom again, and then you've got a maximum of 110, and then there's another 80mm drive to the right. Configurations may differ depending on what you're going to use. If you fill them all up, you may get a little bit less speed. I will put anything that I can find on the screen, as you do have a limited amount of PCIe lanes. So I mentioned there's a USB-C and USB 3 header. Typically you'd see 2 USB 3s. But the reason you don't is because when we go around to the back, look at this absolute mass of I/O. So first of all, we've got our display ports in. So this was, like I mentioned, the cable that's included. You can go from your graphics card into the display port. That will give you the Type-C or off a Thunderbolt should you use that DisplayPort cable. As you can see, there are 2 DisplayPorts, so you can do double Thunderbolt should you wish. There's a HDMI as well, so good for if you need to do any troubleshooting. USB 3 10 gig, there's 2 of those. There's another 3 further along, and then also another one that acts as the BIOS update button. There's also a BIOS flashback button there as well. You've got 10 gig and 2.5 gig Ethernet, great if you're going to be using a local NAS for editing. Then you've got your Wi-Fi 6E antennas and some basic audio. Now these USB-C ports, if you don't want to use them as Thunderbolt, they can also act as standard USB-C for any external drives or anything you want to plug in. And obviously you could use them to charge your laptop, for example, as well, or using the USB-C header, as long as you add that extra additional 6-pin. So that was a look around the ASUS Z690 ProArt board. I hope you all enjoyed it. I've been really keen to look at this, and I'm really looking forward to doing a PC build with it as well. More of an editing themed PC. Probably base it around the 12700 seems to be kind of a good point for an editing build, so stay tuned for that. Get subscribed and ding the bell so you don't miss any future uploads, and of course the content on the ProArt monitor as well, so really looking forward to seeing a nice colour accurate display. So thank you all for watching, guys. Stay tuned, as I said, and I'll put all the product links and things down in the description box below if you want to pick any up. Big thank you to ASUS for setting this out for me to look at, and I'll see you all in the next one.